What is going on, my wonderful people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have got a brand new and updated Inzaghi tactic. A close friend of mine and a long-term viewer of the channel really wanted to see it, so this is a little surprise to him and to you if you do like Inzaghi. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again, as always, comment below right now what you want to see next, whether it be a rebuild or a tactic. We are doing it all. Let's get into it. Then first up, we are going to go right over to the mighty Serie A, where we do enjoy a stellar season with Inter Milan, or Blue Neri, should we say. 35 wins, 3 draws, and 0 losses. Now, they are the powerhouse of the league, but I will say in this game, there are some tough teams to beat in this league. AC Milan being one, Juve being the second. Also, personally for me, I always struggle against Roma, but they do finish in 9th, so they didn't have the best of the best season. Now, in terms of stats, we are going to be scoring 156 goals, 780 shots. We only faced 137. Defensively, we are actually a brick wall. We are so good at defending, and that is to be expected with an Inzaghi system, but genuinely really, really impressive. Possession, not half bad either, with 58%. Now, I will be honest with you, this tactic wasn't made to dominate possession, okay? It's to sort of soak up the pressure, go on the counter-attack. When you've got the likes of Martinez, Thuram, you know, up front, you can really go on the counter-attack. You've got DeMarco on the left. Oh my. What a team they have got, by the way. Real big fan of Inzaghi and his incredible Inter Milan team. And I mean, the data hub, again, we can go and see just above 4 goals a game. Way under half a goal conceded. We're still having a lot of shots to be in, compared to being, you know, a little bit negative and not having loads. A decent pass completion, a good tackle-win ratio, and of course, this is just Trophy 1. Because we also win the Italian Cup against the team that I said I struggle against, and we beat them 4-0. Maybe, just maybe, it's not Roma's year. And then on top of that, we get to the semi-finals of the Italian Cup here, where unfortunately Atalanta being a little bit too strong on the day, and then we also win the Champions League 1-0. So, Inter Milan, tick. And this Italian Cup did mean a lot to me, because it is a real deciding trophy to go from winning the double to winning a treble, you know, a real big statement. And these new set pieces I've got are absolutely relentless. Thuram is going to go down the left with a man injured, by the way, so this is even more impressive because we dominated a team like Roma with 10 men on the pitch. Absolutely incredible scenes right there, as we are going to have it round the back here. And we were so good at this in the game, just really picking up the ball in good areas. Barella goes through into Thuram, and I tell you what, that sums up this tactic. So direct but precise, really strong, and Big Hakan is going to finalise a 4-0 win. And then we're over to Chelsea, just because I think they can play a 3-back system. They've got a few centre-backs, and I thought, do you know what? Let's go and give it a go, shall we? Now, in terms of the cups, apart from the Premier League, which we did win, which is really nice to see, we do fail to win anything else. The Carabao Cup, all the way to the final, where we beat ourselves with Leeds, which is interesting. That says a lot more about the Chelsea team than the tactic, because we had a great season with Leeds, which I will show you very shortly. So that's a little spoiler. The 5th round against Arsenal, but the Premier League is going to be the main conversation point, where Cole Palmer, feeling a little bit chilly, was playing actually in a locked-in advanced forward role. The first time I've ever played him up front, I retrained him there as well, and he actually played really well. I just wanted to see how many goals I could get from him, and he's actually quite the bagsman. 81 goals, so I mean, it is very close, pretty much tied with Man City. Defensively, we're going to be absolutely incredible, to be expected. Possession, again, very similar, 57%, and pass completion, not too bad either, coming in with 90%, so you can't really knock anything about the tactic, apart from maybe with this one scoring a little less goals, but we are in the Premier League. We're also not the clear favourite in the Premier League, you know, it's one of them sort of things. Pass completion is actually really impressive. Defensive record's great as well. But the shots per game has gone down a little bit. And that's a mixture of a bit of a weaker team and also just a different pacing. You know, the Serie A can be quite open. We're also a very dominant team over there. We are going to have more shots. We are going to have more goals. But I'm not going to turn my nose up at a Premier League win. Show you the in-depth league table, because that is now 2 out of 3 seasons we are going to go invincible. 41 wins and 5 draws with Leeds. Such a good team and such a good tactic. 140 goals, the most shots, the fewest shots against, the most possession, the most dribbles, the best defensive record, and when it comes to the pass completion, also very, very impressive. So we almost take home every stat line that is possible, because you can't really have this stat line when you're being so dominant in the game. Now, the data hub we can also go and look at. Just over 3 goals a game, 0.28 conceded, a good pass completion, and a good amount of shots per game as well. That's incredible. Of course, we do go over and win the actual cup final, so that also does say quite a fair bit. Going over to the data hub again, really, really strong. Can't really complain at all. And I tell you what, let's go and watch some highlights. Right then, and a 6-0 win over Preston, just to really see how these goals are being scored and really understand the tactic. Now, one thing that I was really happy with that I actually got ticking in this tactic was how we provided the width. Obviously, the system doesn't have wingers. We have very, very progressive wingbacks actually operating as complete wingbacks, and they done such a good job at getting forward, being dangerous, assisting, becoming nuisances to really try and defend and, you know, try and get the ball off. And we find ourselves here a staggering already 3-0 up inside of the 50th minute, and it was goal after goal after goal. Now, this was against a pretty weak Preston team, but I thought, do you know what? For the sake of you really seeing how the goals get scored, I'm going to show you a game with a lot of goals, regardless of the opposition. And a lot of it is done via cutbacks. We've seen 3 goals, I believe, this one game by itself. All cutback opportunities, so make sure you have got good finishes in the box, and also make sure you get them as set pieces, because they're updated, they're broken. Then over to your favourite part of the video, and if you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you do enjoy rebuilds, make sure you are coming over to Daily Josh. It's going to be in the description, or also you can just type it in. We've got a rebuild once every 2 days, and this week we've got a bit of a banger. If you've missed them, we have rebuilt a sort of versus rebuild, Jurgen Klopp versus Alonso for the Madrid job. So make sure you go and check it out. But that aside, let's crack on with the tactics. So create your own style. That is going to be key today. And we are going to load in just a default 5-3-2. And we are going to build up from there. Now, don't worry. It does change quite a fair bit from what you see on your screen. So let's lock in. First thing, go right down to the bottom left and go to attacking. Now, bit of advice. When you're making a 3-back system in Football Manager, if you are sort of thinking, I really like a 3-back, but I can't score goals, from my experience, I always have to play on either positive or attacking when I'm trying to score goals with a 3-back. I don't know what it is, but inside of this game, I really thrive when I've got that on. When I'm seeding the game out, you can go balanced, you can go cautious, but when you're starting a game, you want to be a little bit lively, positive or attacking. In this case, we are going to go attacking. The goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper, simply on defend. We are then going to operate, of course, with a back 3. On the right-hand side, we are going to use a wide centre-back simply on defend, and he is going to be told to do a couple of things, simply close down more and tackle harder. Now, for those wondering, although you might already know this, to get close down more as an option, you need to clean slate your team instructions. If you go into out of possession, you've got trigger press or anything on, it simply will not be available. So make sure it is going to be nice and clean. Go into the central centre-back. We are going to use a default libero, and he is simply going to be set to defend. I did tinker with him being on support, but for me, a little bit too attacking for the default version. The left centre-back is going to be another wide centre-back, so this is really good in a back 3, and he is also going to be told to do a couple of things. And that is simply going to be close down and, of course, tackle harder. So these 2 players here are going to be quite aggressive and really, really take the fight, you know, in terms of putting in challenges, not just sitting back being passive. They are going to play big, big influential roles. When it comes to the wing-backs, a little spoiler I did say, we are going to have a complete wing-back on the right-hand side, and he is going to be told to do a multitude of things, so let's lock in. Take more risks, alongside of cross more, alongside of dribble more, run wide with the ball, tackle harder, and also mark tighter. And it was so good, we had to do it all again. Of course, with the left back as well, we want both of these wing backs really, really committing themselves forward. So if you did miss it the first time, I'll go over it again. Take more risks, cross more, alongside of dribble more, run wide, tackle harder, and also mark tighter. So make sure both of those are exactly matched. Now, where this tactic does get interesting is the midfield. So let's get into it. But before I do, if you are interested in getting all 3 of these tactics, unlocking all of my tactics from this year, over 60 rebuild files, 220 tactics, one-on-one tactical help, ad-free viewing, access to this month's giveaway, which is £900 split between 10 winners, make sure you come and check out the Patreon, where we have got a custom code that I put on the community tab for 20% off. So make sure you do take full advantage, because we've got a big community over there, over 5,000 people, and it is absolutely mental. But let's carry on and break down this tactic. So instantly, this is where the tactic's going to change. So for me, Barella is always a box-to-box icon, a box-to-box player that I really do like watching. So we are actually going to have one player pushed up in this 3-5-2. And let's go over and sort of talk about that, okay? So let's go and have our attention to the box-to-box, who is simply going to come in on support, obviously, and he's simply going to be told to tackle harder. So pretty nice and simple, nothing too crazy in my opinion, but it just helps really transform this sort of system into a more sort of attacking vibe, because without him it's a little bit stagnant, and that's completely fine in the defensive version, but in the balanced version especially, we need that bit of a link up between the sort of DMs and the strikers, and he just really helps that, going on the occasional run. Next up, in the middle, we are going to operate with a default halfback, who of course is going to be on defend, and on the left we are going to have a DM on support, who is simply going to be on close down more and also tackle harder, if I can click it. And to finalise it, incredibly easy, we are going to have 2 default advanced forwards. Now, you can tinker with this, I will be honest. You can have a target forward if you want to, because they do get a lot of balls fed to them in the box. You can have a poacher, but for me, Martinez has pace, Thuram has pace. Getting behind cause issues. Going over to the team instructions, we are going to go down to fairly narrow. We are then going to overlap left, overlap right, focus through the middle, and play out from the back. The final third, mixed crosses, work ball into the box, is going to be of choice. We are then going to go down by the passing to shorter and up by 1, so the tempo is going to be set to slightly higher. In transition, we are going to counter press, counter, distribute quickly, play to the centre backs, and simply roll the ball out. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to deploy the high press with the much higher defensive line and simply get stuck in. So pretty basic in terms of the out of possession, and that's going to give you the default version, but do stick around because you need the attacking version. Now this one is more of your 3-5-2. This is obviously going to be a bit more sort of pushed up. So when it comes to the goalkeeper, he remains the same. The wide centre-backs do remain the same. The complete wing-backs also do remain the same. I will say it because I know someone's going to comment it, so I will point this out very quickly. Now, this is technically a little bit different because you can have one of them that isn't always sort of coming out and putting challenges in. And I removed it on the attacking version because it plays with a higher tempo, and I noticed a lot more bookings coming in from both of my centre-backs. So I personally made the call to take one of them off the tackle harder and close down more. That is completely up to you. I will include that in the video. The libero is now on support. The halfback remains the same. The box-to-box remains the same. The CM, of course, brand new, on roam, channels, and also tackle harder on the automatic roll. And both of the advanced forwards, well, they remain the same. We are also going to stick to the attacking mentality, still stick to fairly narrow, the mixed crosses, the work the ball into the box, all of this good stuff does remain exactly the same, but we are going to go a bit more expressive now, literally. Run at defence as well, the tempo all the way maxed out, and the passing does remain the same directness, but a big change on the sort of dribbling style and, of course, the tempo. In transition, all of the good stuff. Centre-backs, roll the ball out, distribute quickly, counter press, what you'd probably expect. And out of possession, we have got a very similar vibe, so we won't spend too much time on it. Get stuck in and simply more often. Now, if you are playing an Inzaghi tactic, it would be rude to not have a defensive version, and this is going to be an absolute nightmare for AI, your mates online, to break through. It is genuinely like trying to break through a concrete wall. It is such a good defensive tactic. The goalkeeper remains the same. The wide centre-backs remains the same, but again, I have chosen to have one of them a bit more reserved. The libero gets axed. A central defender on cover, be a little bit deeper. The complete wing-backs, both now on support, on tackle harder and mark tighter. We then have 2 DMs, both of them on close down and also tackle harder, and the halfback also remains, so he will drop and form a back 4, and then we have another 4 ahead of them, so it is an absolute nightmare to try and break through. A target forward comes in on support, and the advanced forward also remains exactly the same, so very, very, very good stuff. The mentality drops down to balanced, and this is where things are going to take a big change. We are going to go all the way down to fairly narrow, we are going to pass into the space, no work ball into the box. Play for set pieces if you've got mine because they're broken. Time wasting, we are going to be doing that because, you know, bit of Inzaghi, bit of Italian football. You know, we know the dark arts of the game. The tempo remains in the middle. The passing goes up by 1 to slightly more direct. But although we are playing a direct style, I still do want to attempt to play out from the back. In transition, we're going to regroup, and then we're going to counter, and we are simply going to play to the centre backs while rolling the ball out. And to finalise this very fun video, to be fair, we are going to go with the high press, with the standard line, and simply get stuck in. And that is going to give you boys and girls not 1, not 2, but 3 versions of Inzaghi's machine. Very, very fun to make, and hopefully you have enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. That's the main thing. I'll catch you next time.